All right, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Hey, Katie. Hey, Anna, Annette, Gina, Jonathan, Katie, Kelly, Onisha. Hello. We're also in our group. Hey, Amanda Hicks. She is in the Warrior group on Facebook. Good to have everybody. Welcome. We're glad that you're with us. I have passed the test. Thank you, Anisha. So it has been roughly 6 weeks. We've been participating in this Warrior Transformation group. We'll do a little housekeeping. Let me make sure I'm recording. Okay, I am. I'm recording. Going to do a little housekeeping. We'll go over again kind of what we all agreed on when we started. I doubt that there's very many of us, including me, that has done what we said we were going to do totally. So I want, of course, obviously, I apologize. This was a lot more than I anticipated. I should have been more ready for it. I was ready for me to do it. I wasn't as much ready to be a support system, which I get a lot of joy from. Therefore, I've struggled getting this incorporated into my daily regimen, but I'm tightening up each week personally, tightening up. Anybody that's my Fitbit friend, you have seen me tighten up lately, getting more steps. I've been working out more intensely as of late, so I'm proud that I'm tightening up, but I didn't do as good a job with support or on my personal goals because I was trying to do too much. So we're going to keep tightening up. We're going to do housekeeping today. I'm going to answer questions today. Got a lot to cover, a lot of ground to cover. We're going to start having a weekly meeting, which I said, in the beginning, I'm not sure we'll have a weekly support meeting, but I'm just going to turn this into something we do at Shibboleth officially so I can get some of my team members to help support this as well. A lot going on. So without further ado, let's get started. You haven't failed, Kelly. You might have had a setback, but you can make way for your comeback. This is a transformation group. Now, let's go backwards. Let's digress. We've got regular Shibboleth that is for people that want to lose weight. And a lot of those people are either obese or morbidly obese. We don't use those terms in Shibboleth because they can be offensive and hurtful to someone. But the truth is the truth. Here in this group, we're going to acknowledge the truth. We're not going to sugarcoat things. We're going to embrace truth in this group. So before I go any further, I want to talk to my group here. How many of you, and don't be shy, we're going to embrace truth here. That's the only way you're going to have a physical transformation. How many of you are 50 pounds or more overweight? We don't have a lot of people here tonight, so don't worry about being exposed in front of everybody. Hey, Mickey, God bless you. Good to have you. No shame. I was over 100 pounds overweight. Anybody else? You're more than 50 overweight? So some. Got some. Anybody 30 pounds? 30 pounds or more overweight, 30 to 50. Okay. So when you're 30 or more pounds overweight, you have a significant issue to deal with. And when we're talking about physique transformation and intense working out and lifting weights and getting your run in, getting your cardiovascular rate up, you might be, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing this physical transformation, but you might be putting the cart before the horse. You might be setting your ambition too high right now based upon where you are. I get reports from people that walking X amount of steps is just too hard on them. Then you're not ready for a complete warrior transformation. Walking should not be something that's very difficult for you to do or to get in a requisite amount of steps every day. If you're trying to be warrior transformation, it's just walking. You can do it walking in place. How bad do you want it? You can do it outside. Weather's starting to warm up. Do it on a treadmill. You go to the gym. But you can get your walking in. You can make time for that. You can walk while you're watching TV. You can walk while you're listening to the radio, whatever you're doing. But my point is, when you're significantly overweight and you're struggling with working out and exercising, it's no wonder. We got to pay the price, and we've got to get our BMI down. We got to get in a position almost where we've lost all the weight we want to lose. We look good in our clothes, but we're not yet where we want to be naked. N-E-K-K-E-D. We're not quite where we want to be with our clothes off. And then it's really time to warrior up and really start transforming. So be a part of this group. But right now, you need to focus on nutrition, and at a max walking, lots of steps. See, when you walk lots of steps, because in my opinion, if you got that much extra weight, you shouldn't be running. That's just my opinion. It's too hard on the joints. You should be walking or rowing or on the elliptical or on the assault bike. I don't want you pounding on the pavement because let's get that weight off first. But until you're dialed in on the nutrition and you're dialed in on getting your steps in and burning enough calories every week, we really don't need to talk about resistance training, because resistance training is not going to burn as many excess calories as what a lot of steps will burn. Does that make sense, everybody? First and foremost, we're putting the cart before the horse. We look at, and this is not to everybody, a large part of this group started in the beginning putting the cart before the horse, and was getting frustrated with the little exercise assignments I sent out, and it just got too hard. You're not ready when you can't walk and get 15, 20,000 steps in a day. You really aren't ready to start resistance training, in my opinion. Walking for you should be exciting and sexy, and because you're going to be walking off the pounds and getting your body in the shape where it can start getting in condition. So that's when I look at the last 6 weeks and I start going over with this group, hey, this is a new day, Thursday. It's a new day. And I'll go over why it's a new day in a moment. It's a new day, a fresh start for everybody here. I want you to start off this time with the right mental processes. I don't have to be lifting weights right now. I'm going to get more results from getting my steps in and adhering to proper nutrition. Next, I've gotten quite a few interactions with people here that say they're starving to death. So I need to tackle that first, or second here tonight. You're not starving to death. My trainer says if I am eating this little and trying to work out, that I'm going to go into starvation mode. Then maybe you should follow your trainer's advice for 6 weeks and not mine, and see what progress you make. To the eye, from what I've seen, nobody here, especially me, nobody is in any danger of going into starvation mode. That's a myth. That's a myth. It's propagated by well-meaning trainers and nutritionists. Your body does not go into starvation mode until it's starving. If you look up the word starvation, I'm quite certain that none here will meet the definition. It's called starvation mode for a reason, and it's a real thing. Until you've gotten rid of excess fat and your reserve fat and are down to nothing but essential fat, you can't go into starvation mode. Starvation mode means that your body is in such a calorie deficit that it begins to eat its own essential fat and lean tissue to survive. When you have excess fat, you have excess calories on your body. When you're in a calorie deficit, your body utilizes that excess fat, if it's also controlling insulin, will use that excess fat efficiently without going into starvation mode. What is starvation mode? Well, it's when your baseline metabolic rate downregulates so significantly that your body doesn't need as many calories to survive. Well, ain't that what happens when we lose weight? No, you're not going into starvation mode. Your baseline metabolic rate is coming down because you're not toting around so much darn weight anymore. So until you can demonstrate that you're almost through burning off your reserve fat, you need not worry about starvation mode. Being hungry is healthy. Being hungry does not equal starvation mode. I want to talk to you about something else. Point number 3. Many of you get hungry, and as I have found out, turn that into being hangry, because you've gotten hangry with me over this transformation. As now why I've got to sanction it as an official Shabola program is instead of half-heartedly doing it, because y'all all getting hangry with me and needing my support. And when you get hangry, hungry, that's a good thing. That means your body, if you abstain from calories, your body now has to tap into reserve what? Fuel, fat, excess fat and reserve fat. So hungry is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It means, has anybody drove a manual transmission, stick shift? And if you don't hit the clutch just right, if you're not working the clutch right, if you try to shift gears, it goes. Has anybody ever did that? I got a stick shift. And if you're not working it smoothly, the clutch and the shift, you get, and that when you get hungry, think of it that way. That's what your body's doing. It's trying to shift from glycogen, sugar burning metabolism, to a fat burning metabolism. And that shifting process, until you stick to it consistently, that shifting process doesn't happen efficiently. Is that a good analogy? So if I have not been eating right and being consistent, and then I go into a calorie deficit, I'm going to get the growl. And then I just got to wait it out, and then I'll get shifted into fat burning mode. And then I'll feel better. Has anybody abstained long enough past the growl? You've had your wits about you, and you've abstained past the growl, and then it eases up. It's that critical time is when you're really getting the growl and you want to grab something out of habit and feed that hunger. And then you have to reset and start all over again. It's not good. But if you consistently stick with it and abstain from eating when you shouldn't eat, your body will become more efficient at shifting gears into the fat burning process. So I want you to start thinking of, when you get hungry, some of us try to push that hunger away. And you're successfully white knuckling it. You're successfully pushing your hunger away, getting your mind off of it, going and doing something else, whatever it is. But that addiction is still there. Now you've got a void, and that void will catch up with you. It creates a vacuum. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does anybody get what I'm saying? You're used to eating and feeding the growl. Now the growl is here. You just got to get it off your mind. You need appetite control pills, whatever it is, and you're just pushing it away. But at some point, you're going to have to deal with the void that you've created by pushing away your addiction. Don't think of it differently. Don't push away your addiction. Don't push it away, because it's still there. Anything you try to push away and get out of your life, I don't care what it is, it's still there. If you're eating due to high stress, you're eating due to high anxiety, you're eating because of boredom, whatever it is, the boredom's still there, whether you eat or whether you don't. It's all still there. What you've got to learn to do is embrace it and say, right now it's okay that I'm hungry. This is a good thing. Embrace it. It's good that I'm bored right now. I don't have to feed my boredom. Embrace it. It's good that I'm not feeling loved right now. Embrace it. Just embrace it. As they say in one of the military branches, embrace the suck. Have y'all ever heard that? Sometimes it just sucks. That's negative, but sometimes it just sucks. I don't like to say it sucks because then I go down, spiral down. But sometimes you just have to embrace the growl. You've got goals. So sometimes when I'm bored, I go get busy, but I always don't have something to go get busy on. So I embrace, hey, I'm bored. This is a phase and it'll pass. Okay, I'm stressed out. Eating's not going to help. I embrace the stress. More people die from no stress than they do too much stress. Did you know that? Well, I want to be entertained right now, and I'm not very entertained. Embrace it. Sometimes it's just not for me to be entertained. Sometimes I just have to sit here with myself and with my own thoughts and embrace that. Embrace it. Because if you just keep pushing it away and ignoring it, it's still there. You just need to learn to deal with it. We are living in a culture that thinks that whatever we're feeling, listen, this is a good one. Whatever we're feeling, we believe that we have to address it. Whatever we're feeling, we believe we have to do something about it. You don't. That's not how you become a successful human being. That's how you become a deprived human being, an unhappy human being, a depressed human being. If we react to how we're feeling all the time, I want instant gratification, I react to it. We'll never be successful. Sometimes we just got to embrace the suck. Sometimes we just have to embrace the growl. This is a learning experience for me on how to embrace this season that I'm going through today. It doesn't last long. Why did the Bible say this too shall pass? You've got to look at it that way. I'm hungry. I'm sore. My knee hurts. My back hurts. Instead of reacting to all these different things, embrace it. Thank God you're alive and that you have these human feelings and states of mind. Because the alternative is that you're dead and you have none of these feelings. So please don't push it away. Man up, woman up, and embrace the suck. Does that make sense, everybody? Mickey said it perfectly. It is what it is. I can either yield to my feelings and be unsuccessful, or I can be an achiever by embrace the growl. So those were a few things I wanted to touch on today because I hear that a lot. I'm starving. I can't do the exercises. those kind of things. When should I start eating more? I'm getting that probably maybe the most. When should I eat more? Everybody wants to eat more. Last I looked, can I be honest? I'm going to be. Last I looked, when can I eat more is what got us all where we're at. Would y'all agree? Will that same level of thinking that we had that caused us to be overweight be the same type of thinking that allows us to lose weight? I doubt it. I need more. I exercise today. Well, congratulations, sis. You just burned 200 calories, and whatever you eat is going to be more than that. So actually, your exercise is going to reward you with weight gain. But I'm hungry after I exercise. Embrace the suck. If it's not time to eat an eating episode, it's not time. You all are adults. I am an adult. I should act like it. You should act like it. It's not time to eat. Well, I want something to eat. Then be a child. Be a child. I'm not fussing at y'all. This is how I talk to myself. It's not time to eat and I'm hungry. Okay, it's 3:00. When do I get to eat again? 6. Well, I'm hungry at 3. What are my goals? Well, my goal is to lose reserve body fat right now. I've got rid of all my excess. I want to lose reserve body fat. So it's 3:00. Are you going to eat at 3 and not eat again? No, I know that I'll eat later in the evening. Then you can't have a 3:00 meal. It's not time to eat. And that's the end of the discussion. Does that make sense? That should be the end of the discussion. Your spirit is the parent. Your flesh is the child. Some of us, our spirit has we've started to usurp authority over our flesh, almost like our spirit's job is to satisfy the flesh at all costs. We're like bad parents around here. Your flesh is going to keep acting like a child until you put it under the subjection and rule of a good parent that's called the Spirit of the living God that's inside of you. All right, let's go look at our list. Just to reiterate, and then we'll do a consensus and see how y'all want to go forward. So here I am at TravisMartin.tv, Physique Transformation. And you've got our 10-day detox, our 14-day boost, line-approved foods, shark-approved foods, and then we need to address Jonathan because Jonathan doesn't have any excess fat. We'll get to Jonathan in just a minute. 10-day, 14-day, line-approved, shark-approved, exercise videos, etc. So here is the food list for the detox. All of us, I guess, are in the 14-day boost part. I'm going to add a category of category 2 veggies for you all because that's been a big request. Why can't we have more category 2s? I'm sticking with I've done a food elimination diet, so I'm sticking to the veggies most of the time. Sometimes I'm switching to Tiger List, but most of the time I'm sticking to this category 2 list because it doesn't upset my digestive system. But that doesn't mean that all green leafies, green beans, etc., will upset you all. They just upset me a little bit. I'm actually trying some episodi and things like that to cook in more fibrous veggies to see if that helps me, so etc. But this is our food list that we're supposed to be sticking to. Please try to stick to this food list more days than not. If you go off this food list, please try to stick with at least the Tiger food list. Okay, that's important. These foods are not going to get you into trouble if you're sticking only up to 3 eating episodes. Try not to have more than 36 holidays over the course of our 6-month period. I don't know where some of you are at, but try to stay under 36 holidays for the 6-week transformation cycle. But I just want to reiterate, I'm trying to get back to this list. I've been doing way too much Tiger List foods. I'm not really paying a price other than my digestive system. But this is a great list of foods for especially those of you that are sincerely interested in transformation, there's just not a lot here that can set you back. It's a very clean list. I want an app. Should we log intermittent fasting or warrior in journal if both apply? I would do the warrior one, Kelly. Intermittent fasting type day means that you ate regular Shibboleth approved foods, but that you got in at least a 12-hour fast. If you're doing warrior transformation, then you significantly and probably significantly cleaned up your Shibboleth diet. You made it even cleaner, and you're getting a 16-hour fast. Whereas intermittent fasting alone just means any Shibboleth approved food, and you got at least a 12-hour fast. So if you're doing now, certainly any warrior transformation day, also you wouldn't be doing anything wrong to market intermittent fasting, but the warrior transformation type day is a more restrictive day than just an intermittent fasting day. Jonathan's talking about his excess fat. So we're going to talk about, for example, Jonathan. Jonathan's really where I'm at. Jonathan and I in a similar place. Amanda's not here. I think she would say she's in a similar place. That's up to the individual. For me, it might be a little different than with Jonathan, in that I'm willing to sacrifice a few people telling me, and I got a long way to go, but telling me I look gaunt or unhealthy. When you're really leaning out, if you're really trying to do transformation, let me say this. Let me put it a different way. Let's say that I'm trying to hit the bullseye. We're playing darts. I'm trying to hit the bullseye. You can still play darts and be close to bullseye, right? You don't have to hit bullseye right now. I haven't been. I'm going to. I'm getting more intense every week, like I said I would. Barring injury, I will get more and more intense. I promise. It's hide and watch me. So, but I'm bullseyeing. And then you think, well, I got to do that. No, you don't have to do that. You can just get close to bullseye and make a lot of progress. That's fine. But let's pretend Jonathan's trying to hit the bullseye. There's a process that you have to go through to really bullseye a transformation. When we started this back 6 weeks ago, I told you all I've never bullseyed. I've went from 44% body fat down to 13. I want to bullseye. Okay. The first step in that process is they call it a depleting phase. They're calling it a depleting phase. It's a leaning out phase. The only way for real physique transformation is to first lean out. And while you're leaning out, the idea is to preserve as much muscle as you can. You always lose some, but you're trying to preserve muscle through adequate protein consumption and using that muscle with moderate to light weights, getting the blood flow to the muscles that you're wanting to preserve. Amino acids and blood flow with the right nutrients in that blood will preserve a great deal of your muscle while you're in a depletion phase or a leaning out phase. Now, what happens is when you start leaning out like that, you're expecting that as the fat begins to cut, that you got all these muscles under that fat. And the truth is, example, myself and Jonathan, we ain't never worked out correctly and built a lot of muscle underneath our fat. So the challenge is there's not that much muscle under our fat to begin with, even if we're preserving it. So as we cut off the fat and we expose our true shape, we show the world that there wasn't a lot of muscle underneath that fat. Certainly we look better than when we were fat, but there's not that much muscle. We're just trying to hold on to the muscle we have and lean out. Now, when you do that and you get your body fat percentage down to a low enough level, it makes working out and the bulking up phase fun. We're going to have a good time. Because now when we put on new muscle, it's not going to push the fat out. We're going to be laying slabs of muscle while over consuming a surplus of quality calories and working out. We're going to begin to add muscle at a pretty high rate because we've never worked out and met our peak before. We're going to put on lots of new muscle and it's going to look amazing. So 6 weeks, we're cutting it. People say, you look sick. But then 6 weeks later, as we put on new muscle and reconstituted old muscle, and we're eating clean and eating right and putting on new clay for us to sculpt in the workout room, man, we're going to go to looking amazing. But you got to pay that price to lean out. I don't think that anybody should start consuming more quality calories, a surplus of quality calories, or lifting heavier, more intense weights until they've at least gotten down below 15 and probably 10% body fat. And a woman, until she's gotten around 20 or a little less than 20, she shouldn't consider a surplus of calories. Well, I'm at 37% body fat, and my trainer tells me that I should start eating more so I'll have more energy in the gym. Do what they tell you to do. Come back and see me in 12 weeks when you've put on more body fat. Am I making any sense? They're going to keep telling you that, man. If you're committed, Jonathan, if you and I are committed to a real body transformation, here's the thing, man. You're taking a step back to go forward. Because now you can put on, if you've got, now you may have the right mindset. I don't. Let me explain the right mindset. Jonathan's at probably with calipers. By the look of Jonathan, I would say he's at 15%. Renfo says he's at 17. Looking good, right? You could go ahead and start putting on muscle now with a surplus of calories and hard, intense working out. But can your mind stand the expanding waistline? Does that make sense? You'll be putting on muscle, but to put on muscle, you'll also put on fat. It's all now a on-season, off-season approach. That's how you have to look at this. Off-season, on-season, off-season, on-season. During the off-season, you're putting on muscle. And it will look like this. See, Jonathan's, everybody stay with me. In the old days, you and I might want to we are fascinated by Ryan Reynolds. Go back and look at Ryan Reynolds when he really got depleted, or Christian Bale, or any of these guys we admire their physiques. They got too gaunt, too leaned out. It's part of the process. But let's say right now you're in a loose 32 pant. If you can stand going to 34, you might even look better. If you're putting on a high ratio of muscle to fat. You might even look better to most people. For me, I wear a size 32 too, by the way. For me, I had rather my 32s be loose and people tell me I look sick. And then when I start putting on muscle, I work, my 32s might get a little tight, but I'm still in a 32. My mind can't handle going back to a 34 and 36, where if I started eating a surplus of calories right now and lifting heavy, I might have broader shoulders. My pecs might not sag as much, but I'm going to have that gut and I'm going to have those love handles, and I can't stand for it. That's just, you said right in a post I seen earlier, you said, I'm afraid it's just going to take a lot more time than I want it to. And that's the real deal. That's the reality you and I are facing. facing, hence a 6-month transformation. And we just got to get more and more intense as we move forward. Yeah, this is being recorded. All right. So this was just a huddle up. I want to answer any questions you may have, but here's what I'm going to propose to the group if you all want to do this. I'm going to start incorporating weekly. I might send out the donation link without begging for help, but I won't charge anything. We're going to start having weekly meetings to keep everybody focused and to, because what's happening in the group, we're going negative. We're turning it into another Sugar Britches group. That's happening. We've got good groups with great Sugar Britches. I can be a Sugar Britches myself sometime. So we're going to have this group, which is going to be about physique transformation, and I'm going to start hosting meetings. I'll start with one next week, and then I'll go to 2 a week. We're going to do it with a Zoom meeting as opposed to a webinar, and I'm going to do a short class on physique transformation. It'll be like it won't be a big reviews. It'll be a 5-minute class, and then I'll answer any questions to keep everyone pointed in the right direction regarding real physique transformation. We'll also go over the new workouts of the week. That way nobody misses a workout. I can make modifications. I'll probably in class notes add a donation link because I did not anticipate that this was going to be something we added on, but I want to be helpful. It's in my heart to be helpful. I want to be helpful. So we're going to really up the level of support for the transformation folks. I've been getting those emails about I fell off the wagon. Can I get restarted? I think what I'm going to do, because humans are humans, some of us will keep going. But for those of you that need a fresh start that really never got started, I think what I'm going to do, if the group would like to do this, I'm going to start it over on the 1st. For those of you that never really got going, we'll start it over so you get a clean start April the 1st through 6 months. And what I'm going to start doing is putting it in also a mini kind of challenge. I'll have this ready to go next Thursday, a mini challenge for those of you that I've heard some say 6 months. It stresses me out. So for the group that stresses out, I'll do 1 week at a time. And then you can determine if it's worth your investment of time and effort to go another week and another week and another week. Because I think folks are getting overwhelmed rather than, hey, I can do anything for 1 week at a time. That's how I treat my life. As I have said to everybody here, the first few weeks, I was just really mad at myself. But each week I didn't quit and I didn't need a fresh start. I just tightened up. I thought I'll do a little better next week. And then if I do a little better every week for the next 4 or 5 weeks, I won't stress myself out, but I'll get to where I need to be mentally and physically to really nail the next 5 months, 4 months, 3 months. So we'll have meetings for those of us continuing the journey, and I'll be sending out information on how to start April the 1st clean. Does that work for everybody? What do you mean, Lisa? Can you expand on that? What does a little better mean? Are you referring to the comment I said about I try to get a little better each week? Is that what you're referring to? I'm not sure. If you're referring to when I said each week I've tried to get a little better, an example. Real life happens to all of us. Let me give you, again, I'm long-winded sometimes. Let me give you example A and example B. Old Travis would have started this and got all excited about this. Old Travis would have got old Travis's detox kit, and I would have done it a day or two or never got started and then quit because, hey, I screwed up. I'd have thrown my hands up in there and quit. I can't do this. Wasted my money, wasted my time. That's what old Travis would have done. Today, I've learned that, hey, life gets in the way. I committed to doing this. So day one, I was bamboozled with, like you are on whatever job you have, endless work. I couldn't get to anything. Just to get the steps in that I agreed with myself to get takes me throughout the day a couple of hours. Then I got to work out. Then I got to do jiu-jitsu. Then I got to plan my meals. And I'm like, I have bit off way too much. I couldn't get the help to people that they needed. I couldn't get my WOW challenges, my SWAD challenges designed with my designers. And I'm beating my head on the wall. I feel like I let everybody down. And the first week I might have gotten 70,000 steps. That ain't going to cut it. The next week, I did a little better. I might have got, we could go back and look, but it played out like this. I might have got 80,000 steps. And I might have got in 3 workouts and 1 jiu-jitsu session. And each week I just got a little better and a little cleaner with my nutrition, with my steps, with my food. And I began to adjust myself and make myself harder of heart and harder of mind so that I didn't cut myself any slack. So now what has happened is I've gotten written down. See, here's how I have a journal. Let me go back to my journal. Hold on. The other day, this was really helpful to me. I wrote down in my journal, okay, at the end of the day, I'm exhausted. If I wait to not get all my workout or steps into the end of the day, it's probably not going to get done. I've got to beat the sun up. That's just how it's going to be. I've got to get up before everybody else is up and begins to pull at me throughout the day. This has got to be my time, my self-care time, and the only way to get it all in is to beat the sun up. Then if I have time later in the day to do more, then that's gravy. But I've got to beat the sun up. The first win each day is beating the sun up and hitting the treadmill. That will be a victory. So it's things like that is like, I've got to get it. I've got to harden up. I stayed up till 1 a.m. Well, I can't sleep till 9 o'clock because by then my day has started and I won't get, I work with designers and developers who are on they're in another whole time zone. Sometimes I'm up till 3 a.m. So if I sleep till 8, 9 o'clock, my day's shot. I'm not going to get all those steps. I say that I'm going to at the end of the day, but I'm not a nighttime workout person. But now I should harden up. If I can't get in what I said I'm getting in, I'm going to get it in anyway. That's what I mean by doing a little better all the time. Any questions before we go today? Yeah, it's relative to you, Lisa. And that's the thing. If we get better every week, we got to be able to maintain that better, you know. But if I have an off week, I'm not going to throw my hands up in there and quit. And a lot of people do. I used to. I would, if I couldn't be a new shiny penny and a fresh start and feel perfect, I just wouldn't do it. And what I've realized about myself is I'm perfectly imperfect. I'm perfectly imperfect. I can give myself too much slack or not enough slack. Neither works. Giving yourself no slack won't work. Giving yourself too much slack won't work. everything in balance. Yeah, Wendy says injuries set me back, but being creative, moving forward, and not giving up. Correct. An injury, I'm dealing with 2 right now. Had to go to the chiropractor yesterday. I'm working on it. Don't know what's wrong. I may end up having to have a knee surgery. But if it's hurting too bad, I can't get my steps, but it don't mean I can't do anything. If it's not hurting too bad, I go get my steps. Jiu-jitsu, I'm laying on my back most of the time, getting beat up. I don't need a knee for that. So it's just working around stuff. You're always going to be dealing with some pain, some injury. It's never, if you're going to work out, you're never going to be free from discomfort and or pain. Now, that don't mean you should work through a real acute painful injury, but you should work around it. No, I will not. I will not get mad. Here's what I'll do for some of you, Kelly. Again, I'm trying not. If I'm not careful, I'll over promise. I'm already working Monday through Thursday. I'm already putting in 18-hour days, so I got to be careful because if I start having to approve everybody's food, because what happens if I approve yogurt and I can, then somebody's going to say, well, you approve this. And if I say no, then they say, well, it's similar to yogurt. Can you see my dilemma there? And I don't think yogurt is the best transformation food. So here's what I would suggest. I almost said yes because it's my nature. Kelly, here's what I would suggest. Have a Tiger Day. I mean, that I'm not going to, I've decided we'll write up the rules a little differently moving forward. Have a Tiger Day. A Tiger Day is not going to prevent you from having a transformation day. It's so similar to a Warrior Transformation Day. So on the days that you want yogurt, let's go with a regular Tiger Day. You can do that. It's not going to be that much of a setback. I put this food list together initially because it was clean for me based upon 2 or 3 weeks of a food elimination diet that I went through. So you could do hemp hearts, hemp flakes with that yogurt. Just call it a Tiger Day. A Tiger Day's just as good as a Warrior Transformation Day as long as you're getting in your exercise. Yeah, Anisha, same thing. You have your tofu, just have a regular Shibboleth day, but add on your exercise, and I think you'll be fine. Yes, Anna, that's what I was going to say. I had to prepare, and we have, I promise. I didn't realize that it was going to be such a great thing that I couldn't get my arms around. But we've got our workout room redone. We moved the rower out. I didn't have any room to do anything on camera where it wouldn't junk all around. But yeah, that's one of the reasons we're going to start doing this weekly so that I can just record my band workouts, my stretch a minute workouts, my rower workouts. Sasha, as some of you know, has been doing some practice videos for practice and showing them. So yeah, we're on it, and we're going to be providing that. You have my word. I had to get some exercise clothes. That's how bad it's been. It's like I didn't even think about that. Sasha's like, you can't go in there wearing those shorts. You're gonna have to get some leggings on and some. Anyway, TMI. You're gonna have to get some compression shorts under those shorts because I can see your underwear. So, hey, didn't do the proper planning. I didn't know this was going to turn into an official Shibboleth class. Kelly, if you want tofu, you can have tofu, but it won't. Right now, it's not going to be a part of. I tell you what. I knew I'd do this to myself. email me whatever. This is a small group, 17 of you. Before the group gets bigger, can y'all just email me what you want on the list, and I'll put on the list y'all's list. How about that? That way you can still have a transformation badge in your weekly calendar, and I'll make sure the food would work. Just email me what you want and let me look into it, make sure that you should be having it, and then I'll add it, and I'll just put something so y'all know it's y'all's list. Will that work? TravisJack777 at gmail.com. TravisJack777 at gmail.com. And I'll add it to what I'll do is I'll go in here. I can't keep adding foods when we have more people in here, though, because it'll just turn into regular shibboleth, y'all. This happens with every challenge. So I don't want it to turn into regular shibboleth. So I'll just add it. See where it says 14-day boost? I'll add y'all's list. And y'all can use that as a part of the transformation group. I understand why you're wanting it. It's valid. It's just I don't want it to turn into regular shibboleth. No Kit Kats, Jonathan. I have to say no to that one, except for one of your 36 holidays. Yeah, we've decided that you can have a perfect shibboleth day, a tiger day, a lion, a shark day, even a hollow meal day. This isn't like one of those tap-out transformations. This isn't a tap-out deal unless you go more than 36 holidays. Correct. Salt and vinegar potato chips. If you're talking about health-wise, I could probably add them to y'all's list. Lisa, you can email me. I'll do my best to get back to you. TravisJack777 gmail.com. I'll try to put you to the front of the line. I've probably got 300 waiting on me that I doubt I'll ever get to anyway. But if you'll email me, TravisJack777 at gmail.com and put Warrior Transformation in the subject line, I'll try to look for yours because most of the others I'm having to forward to my team. I just can't get to them. But I'll try with you guys. Put Warrior Transformation in the subject line. I'll try to answer your exercise questions. Anna's asking for sweet potato on the detox. I don't have any problem with you doing sweet potato on the detox, as long as you're doing it on the detox part. Yeah, I'll answer your questions, Lisa. Hopefully, y'all won't be waiting on. If everybody would follow these rules, when I start adding the live classes, if you would bring your questions and let me answer them real time at the end of the session, it would help me out a lot. It would help me out so much. You have no idea. I'll try to give enough session times that, somebody can run in, pop in, get their question answered, and get out of the meeting, get what they need out of it, and then head out. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you valuing my time. I wish I could do more. I just stay so bogged down, right? No excuse. It's just there are 24 hours in a day. Anybody else? Any other questions? Anything not you have a specific question about, except for other than food add-ons? Hey, I know a great if y'all, can I say something funny? If y'all don't like this food list, I know a great program. It's called Shibboleth. Plenty of variety. Would it be a good investment? Good for knees. A trampoline is great for the lymphatic system and the entire body. Absolutely. A trampoline is a great investment. Just a small rebounder is a great investment. Even a rebounder, great investment. I have a vibration plate, and that's what I use instead of a rebounder. When we say what's good for cardio, anything that gets your heart rate to the target heart rate zone and locks it in there for 30 minutes to an hour. Getting our heart rate up for a few minutes isn't going to do very much. Getting your heart rate up to the target heart rate zone for 30 minutes to an hour, beautiful for fat burning. Do y'all know how to determine your target heart rate zone? You should be monitoring that if you're serious about exercise. Whoop is perfect for that. Absolutely. Whoop is the main thing. But your target heart rate zone is 220 minus your age. 220 minus your age. 220 minus your age. Then take that number and multiply times 0.70. Sandy, I'll answer that for you too. Really proud of Sandy because she has not give up. Even when she had a bad day, usually she wants to start over. And I'm so happy that she's continuing. Good job, Sandy. So 220 minus your age. Let me give you an example. All right, 220 minus my age. 220 minus, I'm 50 years old. That's 170. Then I take 170 times 0.70. And that is going to be about 119, I believe. So my target heart rate zone is 119 or 10 points more or 10 points less. For me to burn fat, I need to be in a calorie deficit and I need to be controlling insulin and keep my heart rate at 109 to 130 in that range. Preferably 130 on the high side for 30 minutes to 1 hour. And I get a great fat burn when I do that. That's not me talking or a trainer talking. That's called science. And science is good if you're getting it from a good place, not fake news. Does that make sense, everyone? That's why I say brisk walking is the best thing for fat burning. It's not exciting or sexy, and you don't have to buy anything to do it. So nobody wants to hear that, but walking. It's the best. There's nothing that rivals it if you have enough time to get enough in. See, I can't do a rower for 2 hours straight, but I can walk briskly. Or an hour. I can't do a rower an hour straight. What about HIIT? What about high intensity interval training? Those things are great, but nothing rivals brisk walking for getting your target heart. And if you can't get your target heart, if you got in better shape and you can't get your target heart rate up high enough, then if you don't have back issues, start with a weighted vest. That'll get it back up higher. There's all kind of things you can do to walk and get your heart rate up and keep it there. Sandy, is a lion and shark day better than a tiger day or a warrior day? A shark and lion day, for most people, will produce the best results if one is not already ill. Now, once one is already compromised in some way from an immune standpoint, it's probably a little better to incorporate non-toxic plants or less toxic plants. But if you're not immune compromised in some way, a shark and a lion day, you're getting all of the valuable amino acids that you need to preserve muscle, and you'll also heal up some autoimmune type disorders. Those are great days. It's not how I would live my lifestyle. in a calendar month right now, I incorporate more Tiger days than any other type day. And then second most would probably be Lion and Shark days. Rarely do I have a regular Shibboleth perfect day anymore. Those are great lifestyle days, but for my goals, I do better with Tiger, Lion, and Shark. If I'm not having a Tiger, Lion, or Shark, I'm usually having a holiday. Where do we go to schedule the private counsel or whatever it's called with you? It's 120, I heard, but what is that called and how can I book? Right now, just an email because we took me off the regular calendar system because I was staying booked up and I wasn't working with our developers. I was exhausted. And our developers, they're smarter than me. They speak 2 languages or more. But there's still a communication barrier. So I had to stay up late working with them on website stuff. So I quit taking one-on-ones. I only have a few of those. But if you'll email me at travisjack777@gmail.com, I do one-on-one sessions for $100. That's what I've been doing them for lately. $100 one-on-one. Thank you for considering me. I hope one day I have other project managers and I can just concentrate on helping folks, but our business isn't quite in the stage where I can focus enough hours on doing that too much. But travisjack777@gmail.com. Anybody else? I just want to rally you guys, encourage you, and I promise you have my word. We'll work on some really good content for next Thursday at 6. But what I'd like for you to do is really from this Thursday to next Thursday, give me a best effort. Would you all do that? I'd like to recognize next Thursday everyone that gets 100,000 steps. Everyone that has perfect days and gets 100,000 steps. I'd like to acknowledge you next Thursday. So any takers? All perfect days and 100,000 steps. I'd like to acknowledge you next Thursday at 6. Awesome, Kelly. Awesome, Anna. Good, Sandy. Good. That's the challenge for this group. I'll do that every week if you'd like, and we'll have some times of acknowledgement, recognition. 100,000 steps and all perfect days will yield a fantastic result. A warrior transformation day, tiger day, lion day, or shark day. At least one of the more restrictive days, Lisa. 100,000 steps and all warrior days, tiger days, lion or shark days. We'll spend a little time recognizing folk. We'll see what this evolves into. Hope the heel heals up, Mickey. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments before we go? Keep encouraging each other. If anybody says they're starving, tell them to refer to this video. You're not starving. You're not going to go in starvation mode. Nobody here is in danger of that. I'm not being a smart butt. I'm not in danger of it. I've got reserve fat. We're going to, unless I give prior notice, we're going to commit to Thursday at 6 p.m. And then when Sasha looks at the schedule I gave her, I'm sure it will change. I've incorporated other meeting times for this group through the week because I intend on recruiting more people to do this now that I kind of know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. Now that I feel like I can get my arms around it, I'm going to be recruiting more people to do it. So we'll have more live Q&A sessions. but Sasha's got to tell me when I can and can't. The only day I know I can right now is Thursday at 6. Thursday at 6. Each Thursday at 6. There'll be some fourth Thursdays I take off because that's when I typically on the fourth week try to travel to go see my grown kids in Georgia. They'll be, how long will they be? As long as needed, up to an hour, but as long as needed, up to an hour. Sometimes it'll be 10, 15 minutes. If the group don't have any questions when I give you the short lesson, then we'll just get out of there and we'll come back the next week and look at our progress. I feel like if in the beginning I had huddled up with you guys every week, we'd had less people drop out. Don't y'all agree? Yes, Anna. If y'all remember the old Tiger lockdown, we had classes every day. These won't be sparks. They'll be more content driven. But when we were doing Tiger lockdown, we had sessions every day, Q&A every day. Not ready to commit to every day. It'll depend on the next group that goes through on the first. Y'all are like the Marines, first ones in. Took the most casualties, but now I have a beat on it. I have a beat on what you guys need from me. So make sure if you're wanting contact from me that you have text Warrior to 31996. Text Warrior to 31996. I'm excited about helping you guys. I feel dialed in. I hope I don't have any more issues, but I'm going to keep going. I intend on transforming over a 6-month period. I have got 4.5 months remaining, plenty of time, but I'm not going to take any of it for granted. And I hope you won't either, because we can all have a summer body that is better than anybody we've had from our youth up. All right, 100,000 steps. Tiger Day, Warrior Day, Lion Day, or Shark Day. 100,000 steps. Recognition next Thursday. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you again soon. God bless you.